everyone, let's talk about this. This is the Boss ML-2 metal core pedal. Now you might have heard of this thing. This is a digital distortion pedal, and as of 2023, this is a current Boss product. They are still manufacturing these, and if I was to describe the sound, I would say that it is less fuzzy than a Boss HM2 heavy metal pedal, but it is also more modern sounding than a Boss Metal Zone. There's definitely a place for this in their lineup of more extreme distortion pedals. And the other thing you might have heard about this is that there's one common complaint, or at least one common complaint that I've heard from a lot of people, and that is that it sounds very scooped, a little too scooped. Not a lot of mid-range in this pedal. Now, as you can see, you got four controls here. You got a level, you got a distortion, and you got two EQ controls, a low and a high. The high controls a narrow band somewhere around 3.5K, and the low controls another narrow band somewhere around 100 cycles. And if you wanted to boost the mid-range on this, you can't really turn these two down and get more mid-range that way. It really doesn't sound good. So the common complaint is that this thing does not put out a lot of mid-range, and there's no real practical way of turning it up. Now, here's the solution that I found. Snap. You don't have to use this exact pedal, but any kind of decent EQ unit that you place after the metal core will fix that problem. Now let me explain. A lot of veteran guitarists, you guys know that if you were to play through a pedal like this at low volume, just by yourself in a room, it wouldn't be too much of a problem because you can hear what you're doing. However, if you were to play in a band situation and you turn the volume way up and you're playing with a typical metal drummer who's got a scooped sound, lots of treble, lots of bass, not much mid-range, and you're playing with the typical metal bass player who also has a scooped sound, a lot of bass, a lot of treble, and not much in between. If you were to play through something like this that gives you a very scooped sound, it would not sound that good. Number one, you are competing with the other two players for the same frequency, so it's very hard to stand out and hear your own parts. And number two, what you're playing can be quite unintelligible. You hear an awful loud noise, but you can't even tell what note you're playing. So that's why a little bit of mid-range sometimes can work wonders. So if you were to use something like this after your pedal, give it a little bit, after your metal core, and give it a little bit of 800 hertz, maybe a little bit of 400, maybe a little bit of 1K. Not that you're trying to turn your sound into a very tinny mid-range sound, but just to give it a little bit of intelligibility and allow you to cut through so you're not competing with everybody else for the same frequencies. It sounds really good. The actual tone of this pedal comes through, and the natural tone of it, the distortion it gives you, is actually quite pleasant in my opinion. So that's my take. But let me know what you guys think in the comments if you've ever played through one of these. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.